Welcome everyone to Open Water Scuba. This is lecture 1. You'll all get to know each other a lot more. We've got some of our leadership team here as well, and we will do introductions in just a moment. This is, let's see, April 20th, Thursday, April 20th, and we will work out the calendar tonight. So hopefully you have your schedule with you. We'll work out the details of the calendar. And no worries if we can't come to agreement on the checkout dive dates, because we do a lot of dives. It's not a problem. In fact, we don't really want all of you on the same dives. We want to have smaller groups, and so we're going to plan a lot of checkout dives. What we do want to do is find times when everyone can make pool sessions and lectures. So we'll work on that in just a moment. Let me go ahead and share my screen. And so can everyone see that? Welcome to scuba class. You are entering a new world beneath the sea. And this is a Scuba Educators International certification class, formerly YMCA. My name is Gabrielli, and I'm here with my leadership team. Just some of us are here today, but you'll get to meet everybody else hopefully soon too. So tonight we have Ronny, who is an instructor, and we have Ximena, who is a dive master, and we have Brett, who is the newest member of our team. He's a dive master in training. We are all 100% unpaid volunteers. Be patient with us. We all have regular activities, school, work, lots of things going on. This is Brett's first time teaching. So you are being initiated with Brett tonight. So yes, it should be a lot of fun. So we're going to dive into scuba. I'm going to tell you a little bit about the program. By the way, with the, let me just tell you that we are, it is a 501c3 nonprofit organization that benefits people with disabilities. And these include several members of the leadership team, Ronny being one of them. He is going to tell you a little bit about his story in a moment. And we have 2 combat wounded veterans who are on our leadership team as well. And several of the others have disabilities too. Some do not. But we are committed to making scuba diving accessible for everybody, regardless. So the program, we'll go ahead and do some introductions. We'll do the leadership team, and then we'll do student introductions. And I'm going to stop this slide so we can see everybody who's speaking. I want to ask you, what made, say your name, tell us a little bit about you, like a 20-second max introduction. What made you want to learn to scuba dive? And I do offer accelerated. Are you in a hurry or are you not in a hurry? Let's just put it that way. Are you in a hurry to get certified? Do you have a date by which you need to be certified or not? So let's start with the leadership team. I am Gabrielli. I have been scuba diving my whole adult life, been to 88 countries, most of which I've scuba dived. I love it. I'm addicted to it. It is not what I do full time. By trade, I'm a leadership coach, speaker, and trainer. And today, as a matter of fact, I taught my leadership academy for professionals. And it's interesting because I've also had several scuba students who've ended up in my leadership academy. So it's a lot of fun. And you'll get to see the leadership side of me. When we're teaching, I'm going to give you a lot of things that a coach would give to their clients too. So yeah, so I don't know what else to say about myself. I have a PhD in educational psychology and learning systems, instructional systems. And I really, really love living here because we have all kinds of diving, from the ocean to the springs, and we dive year round, and it's awesome. So I'm going to toss it to Ronny. And Ronny, if you'll share a little of your story as well, because most people don't know you at all. So, but they're about to.
Hey, I'm Ronny Ahmed. I met Gabrielle 8.5 years ago at the Neuro ICU in Tallahassee Memorial Hospital. I was shot on campus in front of the library. So I've paralyzed. I use a wheelchair, complete paralysis. I've got some nerve damage to my right arm as well. It was my dominant arm. But, I was an Eagle Scout. I've always liked nature, I like animals, all that kind of stuff. And I met Gabrielle in the ICU, like I mentioned. And she asked if I'd ever been scuba diving. I said, is that even possible? And she was like, I specialize in it. Here's my number. Call me when you get back from rehab. So I called her. Initially we did the HSA certification. That's just the Handicap Scuba Association. They do specialty certifications. You can become a buddy if you like to do volunteer work, if you're into that. So that's how we initially went. And then after seeing how I did, she transferred me to an open water, SCI open water certification. Then I did advanced nitrox, Divemaster, assistant instructor, and now I'm instructor. So I finished that last summer and looking forward to this summer.
And the reason I met him, thank you, Ronny. The reason I met him is I had a therapy dog, a golden retriever. And so I would visit the hospital and Alzheimer's patients and all kinds of things. So, but Ronny is an incredible diver and teacher. You're going to get to learn a lot more about him, but he also is breaking barriers as he's going. He was the first dive master with paraplegia with SEI. He was the first assistant instructor, and now he's the first instructor. And we've had people all over the world reach out to us and ask how, they can make scuba more accessible. So, all right, let's toss it over to Ximena. And Ximena, maybe do a little introduction. If you could give us a little Spanish too, because I know we have somebody who is fluent in Spanish and maybe English is not as easy for him.
Okay, so my name is Ximena. I am a born and raised Miamian. I've been in Tallahassee for quite some time now. I went back to school to do archaeology and I wanted to do underwater archaeology. So that's how I really got into diving. I was always in the water before, but never had scuba dive. So I was fortunate enough to get that experience and then meet Gabrielle. And that helped me to kind of turn my diving from a lot more of technical diving to enjoyable and also diving in which I can give back through leadership and through HSA diving, which is really important for me in all aspects of my life. So I recently just defended my master's thesis. Yay!
Yay.
Still working on the document, but trudging along and hoping to use that in the future. So try to recap that real quick in Spanish. Mi nombre es Ximena, yo soy de Miami, la familia de mi mamá es de Ecuador, entonces yo fui allá todos los veranos cuando era niña y yo estoy en la escuela ahora para hacer arqueología, no sé cómo lo dicen en español, pero de agua, de las personas que viven y hacen sus vidas y sustancias de comida y la parte de las vidas de eso en la agua. Entonces yo estoy haciendo ahora mis estudios y está específico para Ecuador, la costa de Ecuador, y vamos a ver si en un tiempo, en unos años, cuando ya no estoy cansada de escuela de nuevo, a ir a hacer mi PhD en un programa de doctoral allá, a hacer más arqueología por allá.
Gracias.
Sí.
Okay. And so, so she's going to assist if anyone needs a little bit of translation as best as she can. Right. And so not only that, Ximena earned her dive master not too long ago after it's a really, rigorous process we have with this agency. And so you earn it here. You really do. So, and speaking of which, who's earning it next? Brett, tell us a little bit about you and what do you do in your real life as well? Okay.
Brett Lundy. I am born and raised here in Perry, Florida, actually. Grew up on the Gulf Coast, being in the Gulf my whole life. So I've been a certified diver since 1994, open water. I got my advanced in 2010, nitrox. And you'll meet Victor later on, Victor Blanco. He's actually part of the leader of the Taylor County Artificial Reef Research Association. And I am the president of that. And we go do fish counts on the Buckeye Reef out in Alpha Taylor County. A lot of fun, a lot of good dives. We're actually going Saturday. It's a blast. So I went to college at University of West Florida, got a degree in environmental science, and right now I work at the Georgia Pacific Cellulose Mill as the wastewater engineer out there.
Fantastic. And you're just kind of getting started on your Divemaster journey, and you've jumped in, and we're really glad you're here. So, all right, what I'm going to do to try to make sure we catch everyone is I'm going to go by, the way that I see you on my screen. And so if I miss anyone, just speak up. And again, tell us what made you want to learn to scuba dive, and are you in a hurry, basically? Do you need to be certified by a certain date? And let's start with Lisa. And if you'll say your last names, I'm going to take some notes because I want to make sure that everybody is actually registered too. So that I don't miss anyone. Okay, go ahead.
Good evening. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, great. So I'm Lisa Roddy and my husband, Robert. I have been certified actually since late 80s, but I had not dived in a really long time, and we plan on going diving on vacation in June. So to answer your question, we need to be certified by mid-June at the latest.
Mid-June, you got it. All right, what about
Robert?
you?
Yes, Robert. I've been certified since the late 80s as well. Haven't dove much lately. And as we say, we're going on vacation and want to take advantage of it. So we're learning again.
Nice. And where are you going to?
Grenada.
Where?
Grenada.
Oh, nice. That's awesome.
Yes.
All right, let's go to the people labeled Joanna.
Hi, good evening. My name is Chris Hunt. This is my son Sterling. The Joanna is my wife. So I've been a practicing attorney in Tallahassee for a long time, a consumer protection attorney. I was raised in Miami, grew up in Miami. I'm a Canadian. Started scuba diving in the 80s, got my open water, advanced open water, but I have not been scuba diving since 1995. So my wife and I have triplets, 15-year-old triplets, and Sterling is one of them, 2 boys and a girl. And so I'll let, we are not in a hurry whatsoever, but I'll let Sterling speak for himself.
I'm Sterling Hunt, and well, I'm in 9th grade. The reason I wanted to dive is because I thought it'd be fun.
It definitely is going to be fun. And we have a lot of people your age. You're going to probably meet some others in the class who are your age too. So we're glad you're here, and how cool to be a triplet. You don't get to meet triplets every day. So that's awesome. So thank you. All right, let's go to Jorge. Unmute yourself. Jorge? Yes.
Hablo español. I don't speak English.
Aprendo con Duolingo. I'm learning
Okay,
on
entonces
Duolingo. I don't.
¿Quiere que explique un poquito por qué querías estar en esta clase, hacer scuba, y si tienen como un viaje o algo que tienen que hacer cuando necesitan estar certificados?
Sí.
Lo puedes decir en español y yo puedo decir en inglés.
Espérate, que no te entendí muy bien lo que me dijiste.
Ok, entonces ella quiere que tú dices por qué quieres hacer scuba, por qué querías coger esta clase, y después porque la clase es como tú puedes hacerlo más rápido o más despacio, depende en tu schedule, pero entonces quieres saber si tú tienes un viaje o algo que vas a usar el scuba certificado para eso, entonces en cuánto tiempo quieres estar terminado. Sí.
Ok. Pues no, nada más lo queremos hacer por aprender y por diversión.
He says he just wanted to do it to learn how in order to have fun. Y entonces entonces no tienes viaje o vacación que necesitas tener el certificado ya en un tiempo.
No.
Okay, so he doesn't have a deadline for time.
Perfecto. Gracias.
De nada.
All right, Jake.
Hi, my name is Jake Rogers. I wanted to do this class because I'm going on a trip in July. So that's my date I need it by.
Great. And where's your trip to?
Australia, Fiji, and New Zealand.
Oh, fantastic.
But yeah.
That's great. All right, Antonia?
Hi, I'm Antonia. I'm signed up because my brothers aren't signed up for this. And I don't think we need it by a certain time.
And did you just take it because your brothers are, or did you want
I
to
mean,
learn?
I'm interested too.
Okay,
but
good.
Yeah.
Great. And are you in school or?
Yes, I'm 14.
And so what grade are you in?
I'm in 8th grade right now.
Perfect. Thank you. All right, let's move on to Matthew.
Hello, I'm Matthew Knowles. I'm in 6th grade, and I wanted to learn diving because I think it would be fun and be nice to be able to go underwater for an extended period of time. And we don't have a due date.
Awesome. All right, I'll go ahead and let John speak next. So we'll go with all the Knowles.
Yeah, so I'm John Knowles, and I wanted to learn because, growing up, a lot of my family dives, and we've been around the water a lot, and a lot of my friends dive too, and their families. So it just came time to learn, so I could do it with them. We're not really too rushed.
Okay, and are you in school or working?
I am. I'm 17. I'm a sophomore.
All right. Great. Let's see. Let's go to, did we do Ariana already?
No.
Okay.
I'm Ariana, and I want to learn scuba because I'm going to be majoring in marine biology at University of Miami, and that's, I've heard, important for marine biologists to know. So
For sure, definitely. And when are you going to University of Miami?
I start fall 2023.
Okay, good. And so are you in school now?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. And what about you, Joseph?
Hi, my name is Joseph, and I'm not in too much of a hurry to learn scuba. I'm always been interested in doing scuba, but I finally decided to take the leap and start. I'm trying to kind of cope with autoimmune condition, and I'm hoping that scuba will help to get me back out in the world.
That's awesome. And, a lot of us have autoimmune conditions, me included. It really, really helps. It helps in every way possible. In fact, many of us with disabilities and autoimmune conditions and other medical challenges find scuba to be physically and emotionally very satisfying. Really, really helps. So, and do you work, Joseph?
Yes.
What do you do?
I'm the manager of our application maintenance services at the Florida Department of Environmental Protection.
Okay, great. Let's move on to, did we do Erica yet? I don't think so, right?
Hi there, I'm
Hi.
Erica Talbot. I'm a speech language pathologist. I got my master's degree up here at FSU. I enjoy doing pottery. I have 2 daughters. One of them obviously is right here. I think I saw you post something, Gabrielle, on Facebook about like getting to dive an aquarium.
Yeah.
And so that was one of the things that like got me interested. And I'm also like really into shipwrecks and stuff like that. So like, and I heard that you could dive with Mel Fisher's team. Not that, not that I'm like too, I doubt I would find any emeralds, right, with the Atoka treasure or anything like that, but it just seems like it'd be a fun thing to do. So I'm interested in diving in Key West maybe at the end of the summer. And we're also going to be taking a trip to the graveyard of the Atlantic. I'm not sure about scuba there or anything, but like just like going to the museum, and if it's possible, that would be really cool.
Yeah. And we do a lot of trips. So you probably saw the Georgia Aquarium trip. We have 32. No, we have more than that. We have a lot of divers going to the Georgia Aquarium. I'm trying to think how many we have. We have 8, 24. Anyway.
I thought that already happened when it's.
Oh, we do it all the time. So listen,
Oh.
yeah.
Okay.
We go at least like 2 to 3 times a year, usually. We also go to the Epcot Aquarium. So
that sounds really awesome. I would love to hop in on that at some point when you guys are going.
yeah, and with the Georgia Aquarium, I get discounts, and because this is a nonprofit organization, any discounts I pass on to my people. So like everyone's getting $70 off the Georgia Aquarium entrance per person. So Epcot no longer does group discounts, but it's still a lot of fun to get the group together and go diving together. So, and of course we do ocean dives too. In fact, this weekend we have 2 days worth of ocean diving. We do springs year round. I really like it, if possible, when you do your checkout dives, to do the spring dives first and then do ocean dives. Just because springs, there's a little more predictability with them, but that's awesome. All right, let's see. Did we do James C yet?
Hey, I'm James Cottle. I go to FSU. I'm studying environmental science. And the main reason I want to do this dive class is because I have a family friend who dives rivers a lot and keeps begging me to get him out with him. So yeah, that's pretty much it.
Great. All right, Zach and Tyler Edwards.
Hey, I'm Zach Edwards. I love the water and I love to surf, and I need to get certified for a trip.
And when is your trip?
It's the Turks and Caicos.
Okay, and when is it?
Thanksgiving.
Oh, no problem. You will not only be certified, you'll have, several months of experience under your belt by then. So, and I've been to Turks and Caicos, and so not a problem to get you certified long before then. So, and are you in school, or what do you do?
I'm in 9th grade.
Okay. And what about you, Tyler?
I'm in 8th grade.
Okay.
And I'm getting certified for the trip too.
And so you guys like to do a lot of the same things. You're going to be great buddies for each other, right?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Good. All right, let's see here. Who do I have next? Abraham.
Hi everyone, my name is Abraham, and I used to study chemical engineering in my home country. I'm from Nicaragua, and I'm a curious guy. And the reason I would like to enroll that scuba diving class is because I just want to explore parts of the world that many people don't get to see so often. So I think it's gonna be fun.
Yeah, for sure.
Thank you.
Very good. And you don't need to be certified by a certain date, right? No trips or anything? Okay.
No,
Carlton.
no.
Great. Carlton?
Hello.
Yes.
I'm Baker Dean. My dad's Carlton.
Got it.
I'm in the 9th grade, and my friend scuba dive, and I thought it was pretty cool, so I wanted to get certified. So
it is really cool. Great.
And I am also taking the class to just go along with him so I can refresh myself. And we're looking forward to it. A little spear fishing and spear diving. That's what we're into. Thank you.
Excellent. Yeah. So it looks like we have 4 previously certified divers in this class so far. So that's great. All right, Laurel.
Hi, everybody. I'm Laurel Keys. I just graduated FSU in environmental science and biology. And I've always just had a big passion for aquatic wildlife conservation. So some of the jobs I'm starting to apply to require some sort of scuba certification. So that's why I'm here. And I don't really have a deadline, but I would like to put it on my resume kind of as soon as possible. So that's where I'm at with timing.
Awesome. All right, Timothy.
Where am I?
Timothy?
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay. Did you already introduce yourself?
Yeah, I'm Timothy McCutcheon. I'm certified diver since 1995. And I just want to go along with my Hispanic friends, the Jorge. And there's two other guys that are with Jorge. So they didn't get to introduce themselves, but I'm just trying to go along with them so they're a little more comfortable with
That's
taking
great.
the class and answering any questions that they might have.
That's great, Timothy. And how do you all know each other?
All work together.
Good. And what do you do?
Landscaper.
Excellent. Now, you said someone's with Jorge right now and they didn't introduce themselves yet?
Yeah, there's two others, Jonathan and Brian.
Jonathan and Brian?
Yes.
Okay, I'm going to make note of
They
that.
don't have computers, so they're all using Jorge's computer.
Got it. And so, yeah, it'd be good to have them on camera too, so that we know.
Yeah.
Okay. So I'll tell you, with this big of a group, depending on how it works out with people's schedules, we may divide you into two groups and do different pool sessions. Okay. So let's go ahead and look at our calendars. I do want to tell you something really cool about this, this organization and the way that I work is that you are always welcome to come diving anytime after you earn your certification at no charge. Come diving with us, dive with anyone on the leadership team. We'll lend you gear at no charge. All we ask is that you chip in on the cylinder fills. So it'll cost you $5 to go diving. So it's a really good deal. Rather than renting your gear, you're gonna, unless you have your own gear, but if you don't, we'll help you, and you can come diving anytime. That we go to a lot of locations that cost nothing, and if we go to somewhere that has an entry, then again, you get it at a discounted rate, whatever rate I get. Okay. Any questions before we go into the scheduling? All right. So what I want to do is look at lectures. So I'm going to throw some dates out there and you're going to tell me if this is going to work for you. So we are meeting on a Thursday. I do want to ask you, is a Thursday good for you? So if we had our next lecture on Thursday, the 27th, would that work for you? And I'm trying to think, what's the best way? Tell you what, tell me, anyone who says just unmute yourself and say no if that's not going to work.
No.
Okay. All right. So let's try Wednesday, the 26th.
No.
Friday, the 28th.
Yes.
You don't have to say yes.
No.
Okay, we got a no. Let's go with Monday, May 1st.
What time?
It will always start it at 7:30. That way, if people have after school or work activities, they can do what they need to do.
Okay.
So just assume that it would start at 7:30 p.m.
No, for me, I'm sorry.
Okay.
No.
Tuesday the 2nd.
Nope.
Did I hear a no?
No.
All right. Thursday the 4th.
Hey, Gabrielle.
Yes.
Hey, is there any, some of us are gonna probably be able to take the class earlier than May. Is there any way that we can go ahead? You said that we're going to be
Yeah, you
broken
can
up in
watch some
smaller
lectures
groups
if you,
anyway.
If you want to watch some lectures in advance, you can certainly do that. I have some pre-recorded lectures. You can watch other people.
Okay.
Okay. So if you do want to do that, you want to get a jump start on the lectures, we can send you, I can send you recordings of previous sessions. If that would be
Okay,
helpful.
but it's not gonna be, so the class is gonna be just one time when everybody is incommunicado with the schedule, correct? Is that what you're trying to say?
I'm not sure what you mean by incommunicado with the schedule. All I'm trying to do is find some times that work for everybody to have the lectures. And if anyone did want to get a jump start and watch previously recorded lectures, you certainly could do that.
Okay. I
Okay.
was just saying if, I thought you were gonna break up the classes a little bit into
No,
smaller
my
groups.
intent is to break up the class depending on how it shakes out with the weekend sessions for pools. For the
Oh, okay.
Okay.
I
Yeah, I definitely
misunderstood.
don't
I'm
want to do
sorry.
2 sets of lectures. That's not fun. Okay. All right.
Not a
So
problem.
where was I? Thursday the 4th. Thursday the 4th.
Gabrielle, so I can make sure to tell the Spanish speakers we are, I'm sorry, I was writing stuff down, so I just want to make sure. What we're looking for days to do
Cuatro
the
de
next.
Mayo.
Yes, this is for
Cuatro
the
de
next
Mayo.
lecture, though, right?
Right.
Okay. Estamos tratando de escoger el día de hacer el próximo lectura on Zoom. Entonces, si uno de los días que ella está diciendo que no trabaja, que no funciona para tu escuela, que por favor diga. And do we have any that were agreed on yet or no?
Not yet.
right?
I was
Okay.
asking about May the 4th.
Okay.
May the 4th.
Si pueden hacer un Zoom el 4 de mayo y
I'm not
al
hearing
mismo
any.
tiempo.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm not hearing any no's. So I'm going to say May the 4th. All right. So we have a second lecture. We need 2 more. Okay. The 4th one is going to be our exam. So May the 4th, 4 de Mayo. I don't know if that's correct, but.
And
I'm
it's
sure
at 7:30, right?
Uh-huh.
Okay.
Okay. So that's our second lecture. Let's go ahead and plan on our third lecture. So let's look at let's see. All right, Monday the 8th. That might be a little soon. Is everyone available though? I'm not hearing any no's. Is everyone available?
Entonces, está preguntando, entonces vamos a hacer el segundo Zoom el 4 de mayo a las 7:30 y si todos están que pueden hacer el tercer Zoom en el 8 de mayo al mismo tiempo.
Everyone's good with the 8th?
¿Está bien? Okay, yes.
Okay. All right, we have 2. So let's look at the following week for, well, let's see here. Let's look at the following week for the third lecture. So I'm going to throw out there the 18th, Thursday, the 18th.
Yes.
18 de mayo para el 14, el próximo. ¿Está bien a las 7:30?
Okay.
¿Sí? Okay.
No
It's okay.
objections?
Mhm.
Everyone good?
¿Usted?
Okay. Okay, so we have our third one. Thank goodness. I thought it was gonna, so we had a slow start. Whew, okay. And then I'm going to Mexico for a friend's wedding. So I'm going to be gone the following week, and it's Memorial Day week. So we're going to look at the week after Memorial Day. So let's look at Tuesday the 30th. Tuesday the 30th.
This would be for the exam, right?
The exam. It would be the exam. Mhm.
No.
And by the way, if we keep it virtual, then you get a take-home exam. And so all it is exam review. And so it is a shorter session. If you wanted to meet in person, then it would be closed book and everyone would need to allow more time. So the last few classes, we've had more people wanting to meet virtually because we have people from out of town as well. Is that better for everyone or no? Okay. I'm getting a lot of yeses. All right, so we're going to stick with virtual. Let's go ahead and look at our final date for that. How about June 1st, Thursday, June 1st?
El 1 de junio pueden hacer a las 7:30 para hacer el examen online también.
¿Y el examen de qué va a tratar?
It's good for everyone? Thursday, June 1st?
Yes.
Awesome. All right. Okay,
Alright.
good. So perfect. Let's move to the pool sessions. Let me just explain to you.
I'm sorry, could you say what the third date was?
Yeah,
Is
and
it
Ximena
8?
typed it in the chat box too, which is really
Oh.
helpful. Thank you.
Okay, thank
So
you.
we have May 4th, May 8th, May 18th. And then I'll send a follow-up email too with all this information. Okay, and you can probably already tell I'm very detailed in my emails. So, okay,
I had a question about that too.
yes.
Since these are recorded, if we like something comes up last minute saying we have to miss, like will we be able to watch them later? Or do we kind of have
Yes.
to participate in the lecture too?
I mean, we'd like you to participate, but if you're not able to, then we're going to do a recording. Ximena, did I come up with 5 instead of 4?
Yeah, we said one on May 4th. That's why I was confused. And then the
I
exam June
apologize.
1st.
I
Okay.
am really tired, and I actually thought I was going to get decent sleep last night. And then what happened? I'm sure it happened to all of you too, right? At 4:45 this morning, the Amber Alert went off, and here I'm thinking I'm going to get a really good night's sleep, and I didn't get to bed till after midnight, and then boom, I'm wide awake at 4 something in the morning thanks to a test of the system. So my brain is, and then I taught all day. So my apologies. Let's pull one of those dates. Let's not do May 8th. Okay. Let's kill May 8th because that was really soon after the last one.
Entonces solamente tenemos que hacer 3 más después de este. Entonces tenemos muchos días. Entonces vamos a sacar el 8 de mayo. Entonces solamente el 4 de mayo, el 18 de mayo, el 1 de junio.
Okay, good. Now let's look at
Gabrielle.
pool sessions. So
Gabrielle, I'm sorry to
yes,
interrupt.
sorry.
Just a little confused. So we initially had talked about April 28th. Is that not a go?
No, some people couldn't make it on April 28th.
Okay, so the May 4th and then the May 8th is being pulled. Is that correct?
Alternatively, we could finish up earlier. What's your preference? What's everyone's preference? Yeah, my thought was we would pull May 8th because we would have just met on May 4th. So that would be pretty soon together.
Okay.
Okay.
And Cinco de Mayo's in there too, so you know. Okay, so we have May 4th, May 18th, and June 1st as our final session. So let's now look at pool sessions, and I'm going to throw some dates out there for pool sessions, and let me just explain to you what your options are. We can have a very accelerated class. So this is good for people who need to be certified quickly, good for people who are very comfortable in the water. We can have an accelerated version where we spend the entire day together. Basically, it's 10 hours. It's work. Or we can do 2 half-day sessions of about 6 hours each. It's equally, challenging, but it's a shorter day, but then you have 2 of those long days. So you have one really, really long day, or you have 2 long days. So I would say if you're, if you have a lot of energy and you think that you're going to be good with skills and working hard, that the one, really long day is good. And if you don't pass any skills, then we'll add more pool sessions. And alternatively, we could just plan ahead and have you do 2 6-hour approximately sessions. So what are your preferences? Speak up, unmute yourself. Tell me what's on your mind. What are you thinking?
So this is Lisa and Robert. We would prefer just to knock it out all at one time.
Okay, good.
Me too. I'd rather just do the long one.
Okay.
What if we did it over a weekend? Like 2 days, like a Friday and Saturday.
I mean, it's gonna, well, don't worry about scheduling yet. It's gonna be really hard to find people who are available 2 consecutive days in a row, everybody. So
Yeah.
don't worry about
But I
that.
think
part
the
yet.
long
Would you
one-
rather plow through or would you rather break it up?
I think, yeah, a one long day. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Any other thoughts? Anyone have any other preferences?
I just think for me, that sounds kind of painful depending on, is it the water all day or are we standing, walking? Because I have a lot of joint problems.
We're in the water. We're in the water most of the day.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, then I think that's fine.
And here's the thing, if you and maybe a couple other people who are not speaking up or thinking that might be too much, what we can do is plan one long day for everybody, except for those who want to break it into 2. And you guys can leave at a certain point and we'll pick back up and do that second session for you on a different day. Does that sound good? Okay. All right, so let's look at our calendars then. And I'm going to throw some dates out there and you're going to tell me yay or nay to these dates. Saturday, April 29th.
Yes.
1 second, Gabrielle, let me tell. Jorge, yo puse en el chat, no sé si viste, que ahora estamos haciendo el horario para los días que tenemos que ser en la piscina. Entonces, puedes hacer un día de 10 horas y todo en un día, o puedes venir en ese día y hacer la mitad y después devolver a hacer el próximo día. Pero los datos de que vamos, o los días que estamos diciendo ahora son para los días en la piscina. Entonces, muchas veces es sábado o domingo y estás todo el día en la piscina, ¿ok?
Pues,
what was the first day that you said, Gabrielle?
Saturday, the 29th of April.
Okay, el primer día es el 29 de abril, si puedes hacerlo o no.
sí.
Okay.
Does that work for everyone? Does that work for everyone? I'm sorry, did someone say that didn't work or does it work for everyone?
Yeah, it doesn't work.
Okay, all right, we'll look at another day. We shall look at another day. I'm sorry? All right, let's look at, we have the 30th blocked off. Let's see. The 6th is graduation. So let's look at the 7th, May 7th.
Si puedes hacer el 7 de mayo.
Te dije que para mí está bien el día que estabas diciendo primero.
Sí, es que tenemos que decir días que pueden hacerlo, pero todo el grupo tiene que estar, no todo, pero la mayoría del grupo tiene que hacerlo y no pueden hacer ese día. Entonces estamos tratando de encontrar días que todos están.
Ok, ¿cuál es ahora?
El 7 de mayo.
Está bien también.
Okay.
Sorry, that date is my daughter's birthday party.
Okay. All right, well, we'll kill that date. I am booked on the 13th. I'm guessing nobody wants to do it on Mother's Day, the 14th. Mother's Day, the 14th.
No.
Yay or nay? Nope.
I'm in
Okay.
New York.
All right. May 20th.
El 20 de mayo.
A ver qué día cae una.
I'm so sorry to object to another one. I just agreed to pick up a shift for someone on that day.
No miras porque no pueden hacerlo.
How about the 21st?
El 21 de mayo.
Cae domingo, ¿verdad? Está bien.
Sí, eso es domingo. Está bien, sí. Yes, he's available.
I hope this works for some people because we
So
got to get people
how-
diving. Is that
How
going to
long?
work?
What would the time be?
All day?
I have something at 5. Would it be done before?
No.
I mean, if you're really good,
All
can we
right,
start
I mean,
early?
it's fine. I'm not. It's fine.
You sure?
Yeah.
All right. Can everyone deal with that? Because we got to get the people who need to go on these trips in the water diving soon after that. Can we make that work?
What days you said?
Hey, Gabrielle, this is Lisa and Robert. Just a quick question. Does it have to be on the weekend? Like we have a day during the week that we could do it. Is that possible? But then that divides other people up. So.
Exactly. We could, but then we wouldn't have, probably half the people would be in school and, you know, we have kids and, you know, 8th grade. And so we can't really pull people out of school and stuff. So yeah, I could do it on a weekday. And listen, if we end up dividing the group, we could certainly pick a weekday instead. For, you know, but let me see, just take a look here.
I would also be available on weekdays. That Sunday I did agree to something. I will try to move it if that's like something that works for everyone else. I'll try to get that moved off of my calendar.
Let me ask you, Lisa and Erica, and were you among the people who had a conflict with an earlier date? Because I could possibly move it earlier. No? Okay.
I could do the 29th that you mentioned originally.
You could or couldn't?
I could, yes.
Okay.
So I could not.
I couldn't either. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Never mind then. I was trying to get us in the water earlier. All right. So let's tentatively plan on, what was the date I said?
May 21st.
May 21st, Sunday, May 21st.
And 8:30 to 5:30.
Normally it's 8:30 to 6:30.
Okay.
But sometimes people do really well and we get them out early, a little. Okay. It's a lot of work. And again, Joseph and anyone else, if you're feeling like it's going to be overwhelming, we'll break it up and then we'll do a second pool session with you. But I really want to get the people who have these time constraints certified. I want to get them, you know, doing checkout dives first. So, all right. So let's look at checkout dive dates. Those of you who are going on trips, let's see here, go back to my notes. Okay. Those of you who are going on trips, we've got Lisa and Robert, and who else? Let's see here. Who else? Lisa and Robert and Jake is July. So Lisa and Robert, you're the ones who want to be certified by June, right? So are you possibly available to dive on let me just see here. Can you do during the day on the 22nd, Monday, the 22nd? Yes.
Yes, we have something that evening at 6 p.m., but we
No
can do it during
problem.
the day.
I have something on that evening too. We're going to keep it local. We're going to dive Big Blue and I'll send all the details. Who else can join them on that Monday?
I could.
What's the date again?
Say your names because I'm not looking right now. It's Monday. It's Monday, the 22nd. And what I'm thinking is, let's just say at noon, we would be finished by 4 p.m.
Okay, Jorge, están tratando de hacer un horario para el primer día en la agua que no es de piscina, es un spring aquí al ladito. Entonces, si puedes ir scuba diving el 22 de mayo, las 12 hasta como las 4 o 5.
All right, so
sí.
who else?
¿Está bien?
Sí, supongo.
Okay, he says that he's available.
Okay, what about the others who are with him?
¿Y todas las otras personas que están contigo pueden hacerlo también?
Sí, estamos de acuerdo.
Yes, they're all good.
Okay. And did I hear one more person? Because we definitely 6 is a good number.
I
can
probably
join.
could, but I don't know about the like I said, I might have to leave a little early the day before for that pool day.
I mean, leaving early the day before, you can't come diving.
Okay.
So, yeah. If we're not done with the skills.
Could is 8:30 the earliest? Like, could you do like 7:30 to 5:30?
I have to ask the group here how they feel about having a super early session. I think
Okay.
8 would be probably the earliest we could start it.
Okay. All right, then I probably can.
Hey, Gabrielle.
Yeah.
Hey, is that gonna be a separate session with the Hispanic guys? For
No,
no, it's for everybody.
it's for everybody. In fact,
Okay.
Lisa, the Roddies are going to be with us. So
Okay. I was just inquiring because I didn't.
did you want to
know-
join?
Yes, I was go ahead and join with Abraham Ramirez too.
Okay, great.
So there's gonna be 3, 4, 5 right there.
All right. I'm going to need some help then. I need to make sure, Ximena, are you possibly available then? I need to have a Divemaster with me.
Yes, I am available on May 22nd.
Perfect. Okay, so just tell me everyone's names again. I've got Lisa, and I'm so sorry. What's your husband's name? Robert?
Yes.
Robert. We got Jorge, Timothy, Abraham, Jake, maybe, and anyone else?
Jonathan
Laurel.
and Brian.
Jonathan and Brian
And Laurel.
and Laurel. Okay. All right. So that's one date. Let's look then at, I'm sorry. Okay, let's look at the following week for more diving. Again, I'm going to Mexico, on the 24th, and I'll be back. It's Memorial Day weekend anyway, so we don't really want to dive anywhere then. So,
If they're going on the 22nd and they do the 2 dives that day, do I need to do more dates with them, or? I'm sorry, I'm
no,
really
it's with
tired.
everybody, Ximena, everybody needs
Okay.
more diving, right?
Okay.
So, okay. So let's see here. Let's look at, I'm really trying to make sure that I get the Roddies and anyone else who has a trip, you know, in on their dives, and other people are welcome to join, but I want to make sure that they do it. Let's see here. Are you able to dive in the ocean? The Roddies on Sunday the 4th
Of June?
Yes. These would be your final checkout dives.
No, Robert's working.
Okay.
I'm looking back at May. It looks
Mhm.
like May 31st. That's a Wednesday. I don't know if that's.
You can do May 31st. Is that right?
Yes, that's correct.
I can make a trip happen on the 31st.
No, I can't do that.
You
Are you good with doing a boat dive?
We can do boat dive, but Robert just told me he cannot. He cannot.
do
He
the
actually has a
31st.
conflict. I'm sorry.
That's all right.
I'm sorry.
Okay. Let me scoot forward then. When in June are you leaving?
The 10th.
June 10th. Yikes. Okay. So how about the 4th? That's our last, maybe our last of it. The 4th. Will the 4th work for you? Sunday the 4th?
No, he works that evening.
All right.
we could
What about the 7th?
Right. How about the 5th, Monday the 5th?
Yep, I can do the 5th.
Okay.
That works.
All right. So you want to do Panama City?
Sure.
Sure.
Okay. So generally speaking, we're going to have obviously a charter boat fee involved, and depending on who we dive with, I've found a couple of really great charters. On a weekday, I'd probably go with the smaller one, and it's $125 per person, but it's awesome. It's the fastest, newest dive boat in Panama City, and it's a family-run operation, and it's really easy to get to. So on a weekday, I would say let's choose them, if that's okay with you. And all right, and so who else would like to join us then?
I can join. It's Erica.
Okay, Erica, thank you for speaking up. Let's see. So we have
What's the date again? What are we talking about?
Monday the 5th, and this would be Panama City, $125 for the charter boat. So
June 5th, right?
June 5th, correct.
Entonces, ¿tienen otro día que están diciendo para ir scuba? No en la piscina, en Panama City, en un bote. Entonces, es el 5 de junio, pero porque es en un bote que tenemos que pagar es 125 per person, right? 125 para todas las personas.
Unmute it. Zach and Tyler can do that.
Great.
Pero vamos a hacer otros que no son tan lejos también en otros días si no quieren hacer esa. Pero si quieren, es lindo también hacerlo, pero es que tienen que manejar por allá y también es el 125. Entonces,
Pues para mí está bien eso.
ok. ¿Y los otros dos que están?
Sí, está bien.
Sí,
Sí,
para
está bien. ¿Tienes uno o dos contigo?
dos más.
Ok, entonces Jorge, ¿y los nombres de los otros para que puedo poner?
Jonathan y Brian.
Right. Ok, ya, ok. They said,
Got it.
entonces
I
los dos
understood.
están, yeah, they're all good for June 5th
Entiendo.
as well. Okay.
Gracias. Okay. Timothy, did you want to join them too?
Yeah, it's June 5th, right?
Yeah, Monday, June 5th.
Yes, that's fine.
All right. Now, let me back it up for everyone else. So now we have the Roddies who are going on their trip, who will be certified in time. So let me find some dates. How about June 4th for everybody else? Who can make June 4th? Okay,
I
Joseph.
could do.
Okay,
this
hang on a
is
second.
Jake. Oh,
Let me just make some notes here. So let's do some springs. We'll do spring diving first because it's a little easier. And we have a number of places to choose from, but for now I'm going to say Big Blue, and if it gets larger, we'll go to a different spring. That's a little bit of a drive. Okay.
this is Jake. The 4th or the 5th actually works for me.
Okay, great. So I've got Jake, Joseph. Who else?
Me too.
I'm sorry.
Me too. Both.
Who's me too? I'm not looking at
Abraham. Sorry.
Abraham.
Yes.
Okay. Anyone else?
Gabrielle, it's Erica. If I'm doing the 5th, but I only have a pool day and not another like checkout day, should I do both the 4th and the 5th? Would that?
Yeah, you could do the 4th and the 5th.
Okay. And that
Yeah,
one
you need
being
2 days. You need 2 days of dives, and on each of those days, you're going to get 2 scuba dives. So you need 4
Okay.
total dives. Okay.
Okay.
Anyone else want to come on the 4th, Sunday the 4th?
I can do the 4th.
Yeah.
Tell me who I is. I'm not looking.
Zach and Tyler.
Zach and Tyler. Awesome. So Zach and Tyler are now, you've got all your checkout dive dates. That's great. Who else?
Laurel should be available for that day too.
Laurel?
Yeah.
Okay, great.
Thank you.
Ariana as well.
Ariana, excellent.
I could probably do that one as well.
Who's I?
James.
James, thank you.
Hey, Gabrielle, I got a question for you.
Okay.
Is for June the 5th for the ocean dive?
Yes.
Did we already schedule for the spring dive as well, or is?
Yes. We have for you, we have the 22nd, Monday the 22nd at noon at Big Blue. And we have Monday the 5th in Panama City.
Okay. I'm sorry, I missed that. I'm sorry.
That's okay. So that's what I have you down as.
Okay. My guys will refresh me too.
Great.
Thank you.
Okay. Let me just pick one more day and listen. In our next lecture, we can add some more. I dive all the time. So I'm going to pick one more date and then we're going to get started because we don't want to keep you here too much longer. So let me just throw another date out there and you tell me who's available. Let's go with May 20th. Oh, that's before we moved your pool session. Never mind. Let me just pick a different date. Sorry. June 17th, Saturday, June 17th.
Joseph's available.
Joseph, good.
I'm available. Is that
Who's
for
I?
James? Is
James?
that for a spring dive or ocean or?
We can pick. It'll be your second dive, so I'd say ocean. Is that good?
I'm signed up for Panama City on the other one, so I'd like to do at least one spring dive if possible.
Okay. We could do a spring, no problem. There's some beautiful spring. Okay.
Chris and Sterling are available on June 10th.
Okay, excellent. You said June 10th?
Yes.
Now I'm looking at the 17th.
Sorry, I meant to say the 17th.
Good. Okay. Yeah, I'm volunteering at Family Cafe in Orlando on the 10th. So if anyone's looking for volunteer opportunities, we have a bunch. We do a lot with kids with special needs, and we do Rotary Youth Camp and lots of other things. So we have Joseph, James, Chris, and Sterling. Anyone else want to join on the 17th of June?
I'm through this, Jake. I'm
Jake?
through the 17th if I don't get to hit one of those other days.
Got it. Okay. Thanks, Jake. Anyone else?
Entonces solo,
What's that?
It's Erica. I'm available on the 17th.
Erica. Okay.
entonces tienen que hacer 2 días y ya tienen el 5 de junio y el 22 de mayo. Pero si quieren hacer más días, van a también ir al spring de nuevo el 17 de junio.
They've already got their dates, so we're good with them.
Yeah, just in case they needed more, I was just asking. I didn't ask about the 4th, but I was asking about the 17th, just so that they know.
But I don't want them to think that they have to do more dives, and I want to.
No, that's what
Okay.
I told them they didn't.
All right.
Yeah.
Anyone else for the 17th?
I'm saying if June 17th is going to be a second spring dive, then I'd rather go on another date because I want to do one spring and one ocean.
Makes sense. That makes sense. I do a lot of ocean dives. So we'll do an ocean dive, or was it James who wanted to do a spring?
Yeah.
Possible. James, can we pick a different day for you?
Sure. For which dive?
To do a spring dive.
Yeah. Yeah.
But
I think it.
You
I
said
think-
June 4th, no? As well?
Yeah, I've got one on June 4th.
That he was available. James, weren't you available on the 4th as well?
Yes.
Okay,
Oh.
so that's the spring.
Okay, got it. So you've got your spring dive.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right, but okay, I'm confused.
Yeah, I am too. So June 4th is our spring, and then June 17th will be our ocean.
Correct.
Okay, cool. Thanks.
All right. So I'll tell you what, I'm going to stop right there with scheduling. Trust me, we're going to add a bunch more dives. There's going to be a lot of opportunities for you to come diving. Okay. All right. Let's get,
Gabrielle,
yes.
have one more question.
Yes.
Can we tag along to the other dates as well, or are we just set up for the certain dates that people have agreed to?
You can definitely tag along on other dates. I have extra sets of gear, and you're going to be diving as an already certified diver, and it's going to be.
I have my own gear too, so.
Oh, perfect. But if you didn't have your gear, I would supply it for you. And I encourage you to come and get as much dive experience as possible. So you can
Excellent.
always come along on these other dates. Okay.
Okay. Not
Yeah.
a problem. Just want to make sure I didn't have to sign up, so you know that certain people are going to be diving at the same time.
Yeah.
That's why-
So what I'm going to do is I will send a very detailed email, and I
Okay.
will work on it during my treatment tomorrow at the cancer center. I can't make any promises that I'm going to get it done tomorrow, but that's my intent, is to get it done tomorrow. And I will send you a revised schedule, and it'll have all the details. Okay.
Excellent.
And
Thank you.
I will be adding plenty more dates. So if you didn't get all your dates scheduled, don't worry about it. You already know the times now, the costs, what's included, the requirements. I am going to ask everyone to go to tinyurl.com/scuba sizing, tinyurl.com/scuba sizing. And Ximena, if you could type that in the chat box and explain to the others in Spanish as well. I will send this in the email too, but I really need to get everyone's height and weight so that I can pack appropriate gear for everybody. So I have the correct sizes.
Okay.
Okay.
Ese link ahí abajo, que si pueden ir allá, porque eso es como Gabrielle sabe que es el tamaño del scuba gear que necesita traer para ustedes cuando vienen a ir scuba diving, ¿ok? Entonces lo voy a poner también en el chat, pero si puedes ir ahí y poner tus datos y te dice qué tamaño el BC tiene que hacer y todo eso, y lo mandas la información a ella para que ella pueda traer las cosas que necesitan.
¿Cómo entro al link?
Lo puse ahorita en el chat. Ay, permiso, lo hice un poquito mal, pero es aquí el de abajo, Tiny URL. Entonces lo pongo de nuevo porque puse una cosa mala.
No, no se puede.
No, lo estoy poniendo de nuevo porque puse una cosa mala, entonces no está funcionando, pero lo pongo de nuevo ahorita. Ya,
Okay.
ahí está.
And I'll send it by email also.
Y la van a mandar en el email también, porque vamos a poner todos estos datos en un email para que tienen ahí en una forma.
All right. So why scuba educators? I really love it. I have 4 instructor certifications. It is a little bit longer, but you're going to come out as an excellent diver. Those of you who are already certified, it's going to be maybe a little easier for you, but you're going to learn things. I promise you're going to learn things. We focus on education first, then marketing. It focuses on diving comfort in the real world. We're very concerned with how people learn. It's a chance to expand your life and see the other half of our world. So what does SCUBA mean? Anyone know what SCUBA means? What's it stand for?
Self-contained underwater breathing apparatus.
Excellent. Very good. And who do we have to thank for this?
What's his name?
Anyone want to guess?
Jacques Cousteau.
Excellent. Jacques Cousteau. Jacques Cousteau. So yes, Jacques Cousteau is really responsible for us being able to dive recreationally. The world beneath the sea is amazing. You're going to feel suspended and weightless. And, you know, those of us who do have any physical challenges, they really go away, like pain goes away. I've had rheumatoid arthritis since I was 12 years old. And the only time I feel no pain is when I'm diving. Ronny will tell you that the only time he feels no pain is when he's diving. It's pretty awesome. I say the ocean is giving your body a hug when you're diving. Life on a coral reef is incredible, and animal life surrounds the diver. So just to kind of share with you, we're going to do lectures 1 and 2, modules 1 and 2 tonight. And then we're going to get into all the others. So next lecture is going to be 3, 4, and 5, I think. And then we got 6 and 7, and then 8 is the transfer of knowledge, the exam. We have a great community of diving right here in Tallahassee. We are very fortunate to live in a place where we have diving year round, and it's pretty awesome in the springs and the ocean. But please consider joining for free, no charge. We got a group on Facebook called Scuba Friends, not Scuba Friends of Tallahassee. That guy copied me, just Scuba Friends, and you'll see all the great things that we're doing. When you get certified, your certification card is world recognized. I dive all over the world, and I've never had anyone question, like, what is SEI? It used to be YMCA, and we are known for having very high standards with diving. Liveaboards are awesome too. I do a lot of liveaboard trips. So you're going to have pool training, open water training. You're going to have 2 days where you need to find 2 days. There are 5 dives involved, 4 on scuba and 1 skin dive. It's pretty simple. We're going to practice it in the pool, but you're basically just going to take your gear off and you're going to free dive down to 8 feet, not very deep, exchange an OK sign, come back up, and we'll do a little bit of snorkeling as well. This is going to certify you as an open water diver, and that certification is world recognized, and no matter who the agency is, the limitation is 60 feet. You will be certified to 60 feet deep. If you do want to continue your training after that, there are a lot of opportunities to continue your training. What I recommend next after open water is going to be advanced open water. So what I recommend you do is advanced and nitrox. I have a combination class that's great. That'll give you 5 additional dives of experience. We have leader levels. All of us are on the leader levels over here, but you can be advanced level 2 and nitrox certified next would make the most sense. Course materials, textbook, workbooks. There's homework. We're not going to check it. So those of you got a lot of young people on here. We are not going to check your homework. You are welcome to do the homework as a way of expanding your learning, but we're not going to check it. If you have questions about it, we're happy to answer them for you. There are also classroom notes if you'd like to follow along during the lecture, and there's a logbook and there are dive tables. Now, something interesting about the dive tables, they've been very large for a long time. They're like 8 by 10, I don't know, 8.5 by 11, something like that. They're big. But recently I talked to SEI and I said, you know, my young people really don't like these big dive tables. Can we start making them smaller? And so now they're giving me the choice to make them small and big. So now I'm asking people, what's your preference? And so whenever possible, I can accommodate if you have a preference, if you don't want it to be a really big one. As I've said in the email, when you fill out the medical questionnaire, you must answer yes or no. You can't put a Y or an N. You can't put a check mark. You can't leave it blank. It's a medical waiver that you need to sign, and it has to have yes or no. If you answered yes to anything, then you need to get medical sign off. So the beginnings of diving, it actually goes back a really long way. Free diving back to 3000 BC. The air compressor was invented, and there were helmet divers in 1837. We mentioned Jacques Cousteau in 1943 came up with demand scuba. And this was basically surface supplied scuba. And then the first YMCA instructor course was in 1959. And then YMCA, like many other organizations in 2008, they were struggling and they were thinking, how are we going to manage all the, the problems that were happening with the economy at the time? And they decided to get rid of SCUBA, but several instructor trainers with YMCA were like, no, we can't do that. We have the best program. And so they bought it, and it continued under the name SEI with the same standards. So are there any risks when it comes to scuba diving? Of course there are. There are risks walking out your front door, right? There are risks going to school. There are risks driving a car. There are risks riding a bicycle. There's risks with everything. The risks with scuba diving primarily have to do with dealing with pressure. And this includes decompression, illness, and you have to be aware of body air spaces, including your ears. You need to have a need for training, and you need to keep yourself refreshed. So generally speaking, it is not recommended that if you have not been diving in more than 2 years that you just go diving. You need to refresh. And if it's been longer than that, then you need to recertify. Contraindications include seizures, pregnancy, and lung issues. Your doctor will sign off. We have had people who've had history of seizures, but they're under control. Pregnancy is a no-no. They haven't done enough research. And lungs, depending on if your doctor says your lungs are okay for diving, then you can come diving. The goal is to minimize risk and maximize enjoyment. The biggest risk, though, is holding your breath on ascent. Never hold your breath, always breathe. And this is my final slide before I toss it over to Brett. And I'm just going to tell you, I highly recommend Divers Alert Network. It's a nonprofit organization, and they're based in Durham, North Carolina. And it was founded by divers. A really interesting fact is I did get certified at Florida State University as an undergrad. I was a teenager, and the head of Divers Alert Network after I graduated was actually my instructor at FSU. His name is Dan Orr. And so anyway, great organization. Your instructor is providing you with accident insurance during the course, which is why I need everyone to make sure everyone's registered. So you're going to start getting some emails from Divers Alert Network, and it's going to tell you you're enrolled. Okay. Any questions so far? All right, Brett, how are you feeling? You ready to share your screen? Or do you want me to progress the slides for you when you teach?
Let's see.
Okay, good.
All right. You there? All right.
All right, this is Brett's big introduction to teaching. He's taught other things. It's first time teaching open water scuba here, so.
All right, so let's see, get this going here. All right. So mask, snorkel, and fins. This is what your first gear is going to be. Your mask, see underwater, gives you airspace between your eyes and the water so you can see clearly. Snorkel, so you can breathe on the surface. Fins, boots. There's multiple types of fins and boots to use during scuba diving and skin diving as well. Choosing a mask. There are a lot of masks out there. There's low volume mask, high volume mask, peripheral vision mask, tinted lens mask. That's what I use. I love it. So when you go to the dive shop to pick a mask, you want it fitted to your face. You don't want to put the strap on. You want to fit it to your face and make sure that it seals all around your face so you can't pull it off. And a good dive shop will help you find a good mask. They know what a good mask that fits well. Corrective visions. They do have masks that you can put corrective visions in. I think, Gabrielle, you said that you wear contacts with yours, correct?
Yes, I wear contacts. I prefer not to have these just because my vision is so bad at a distance that I don't want to have to wear my mask all the time. I'd rather wear contacts. But some people really like to have these masks, and you can get them at Coral Reef Scuba. You can get a mask with corrective lenses put in, just allow enough time to do so.
Snorkels. There's a few types of snorkels. There's dry snorkels. There's the regular snorkel with the open end. You need to carry your snorkel with you to breathe on the surface when you come to the surface, and be able to not, even when you enter the water from a boat, if you're having to stay on surface waiting for the other divers to get in the water, you don't want to use your air from your cylinder. You want to use your snorkel so you don't use up your air.
And we don't recommend dry snorkels like the red one there with the big ball at the top. We do not recommend that for scuba diving. Get a simple snorkel, just something simple, and then it's not going to get in the way of your gear.
Okay, choosing fins. Same thing. There's several types of fins. There's the split fins. I've tried split fins before. I prefer the solid fin. They give you more, to me, they give you more thrust, give you better, especially during a current. I wear the strapped fins with the boots. They do make the shoe fins as well.
Yeah, and for our classes, we only recommend the boots with the strap. We don't recommend split fins either. The kind of finning that we do is primarily going to be frog kicking, and split fins are not really good for frog kicking. So definitely get the boots and get the nice fins. They don't need to be high-end fins. You can get an entry-level fin like a Tusa, but don't use the little tiny snorkeling ones. Okay.
Well, I have a question. So not like the first one, it needs to be a boot that has like a fin that you put over it, not like the slip-on thingies.
Correct. Don't get the slip-on ones.
Okay.
We are diving in water that, like the springs, they are 68 to 72 degrees year round. We want to protect your feet. We want to keep you warm. Quite frankly, when you do a lot of diving, like I do, like I go on liveaboards and I might do 35 dives in a week. And if I'm wearing those kind of fins, I'm going to end up with blisters and all kinds of problems. So I wear them all the time. Yeah.
Thank you.
Get the winter boots, get the good winter boots, not the little tiny short summer ones. Okay.
Yeah, and I've done some shore diving in the Caribbean, and it's nice to, pull your fins off and just walk on the beach, not to worry about stepping on rocks and things like that using those boots. So, introduction to diving sciences, diver anatomy. So we have the ear canal, the outer ear, middle ear, your eardrums, inner ear, the cochlea. These areas, you're going to hear a lot about pressure, air spaces, and how to equalize your ear and clear your ears as you're diving is very important. to learn this while you're diving and to get those ears cleared, because you will feel that pressure going down. We have of course, the lungs, all the airspace, ribs, middle lobe, bronchioles, pulmonary veins. Let's see, what else? Respiration, circulation. So air, 78% nitrogen, 21% oxygen, 1% other. The hemoglobin of our blood is 45% of our blood. It carries the oxygen in and the carbon dioxide out. And hyperventilation. You want to avoid hyperventilation because it can induce blackout when snorkeling. And this is a skin diving. So hyperventilation, you can see where on the first dive, the white line on top, as they go on the first dive, your oxygen levels go down as your carbon dioxide levels go up. When you come up to the surface, get some breaths and go back down, your oxygen levels are actually lower on that second dive going down, your carbon dioxide levels keep coming up. So you can hyperventilate going just by snorkeling and doing skin diving down, free diving down and coming back up.
Yeah, so that's not a concern with scuba divers. It's really with free divers. One of our people on our leadership team, Jacob, actually did pass out once when he was free diving, and he came up, and thankfully his mother rescued him. So, all right.
Air to water contrast. So water is 800 times more dense than air. You're going to have drag forces against you, especially with your gear on. With currents and swimming, you'll feel your gear on you. And light travels through the water 20% slower in water, and you also see the color changes as it goes down. When you get down to certain levels in the water, the reds disappear, oranges and reds will disappear first as you go down, and then you'll start seeing the blues, and everything kind of turns blue when you're down. But like me, I like to do underwater photography. I got a 1500 lumen light, and you can see the bright reds and stuff when you hit it with that light under there. It's very pretty. And our buoyancy under the Archimedes principle. Pressure. We have 14.7 is our atmospheric pressure. At 33 feet salt water is our absolute pressure. And this is a chart of Boyle's law and pressure, depth, volume, and pressure. So at surface, you have a full bottle with an open bottom. At 1 atmosphere, as you go down 33 feet, it will fill up halfway. As you go down to 66 feet, it will fill up the third of the way. And as you're down to 99 feet, it will go fill up 3/4 of the way, only leaving 1/4 inch of space. And then you have the squeeze, and you will feel, the deeper you go, the more pressure you can feel on your body. Other Boyle's law effects. Breathing volume, ear clearing, discuss that briefly. Mask squeeze, so as you go down, you'll feel the pressure squeeze their mask against your face. If you blow out your nose, a little bit blow out your nose, and you can equalize that pressure going down. Same way, as you're equalizing your ears, equalize your mask as you go down. Wetsuit compression, so as you go down, your wetsuit will actually compress. And then we have the pressure injuries. Dalton's law, understanding partial pressures. What's in a cylinder? It's compressed, 78% nitrogen, 21% oxygen, 1% other, and each act independently. Henry's law, the absorption of gas in our bodies. Gas base, you have CO2 there in this bottle. And then as you open the bottle, it releases the gas from the pressure. And it relates to your nitrogen in your body that's released on ascent, causing decompression sickness. So as you dive down, your nitrogen as you're breathing, your compressed nitrogen, it will absorb into your bloodstream. And as you come up slowly. If you don't come up slowly and don't off gas, that nitrogen can actually expand, like they're opening that bottle, expanding your bloodstream and causing the decompression sickness. Used to be called the bends because it would get in your joints and you would bend over. Hurt. The air consumption. How long will my air last? Density of air increases with depth. So for example, 1 hour at the surface, you get 1/2 hour at 33 feet salt water, 1/4 of an hour at 99 feet. Heat loss in water. You want to address for the temperature. So the picture there on the right with the guys doing the ice diving, I will probably never do that. I don't
None
like
of us,
cold
we're all
water.
wimps here on our leadership team. We will send you to a really great, instructor up north in Indiana, but you're not going to see us. We're wimps. We're all wimps.
Yeah, that's that's just cold. Not fun for me. So you do want to dress appropriately, wetsuits, and I have several. I've got a shorty wetsuit for when the water gets a little warmer, but not too warm. I always dive with a shirt skin. That's mainly just to protect myself from ocean things like jellyfish and things like that in the water. And your vision underwater does change. So objects are going to appear closer and they're going to look bigger. So that 10-foot Goliath grouper that you saw was probably only 6 foot. So when you see something, how are you going to explain that to the people when you get back on the boat or out of the water? Hey, I saw this and it was this big or this color. Like we was discussing, the colors change too as the depth, as the deeper you go. Sound and hearing. So while you're underwater, Brian can't hear his buddy talk. He can't tell the direction of sounds, where the sound's coming from. Because of that density of the water. All right, module 1 summary. We have the anatomy, effects in water, respiration, circulation, buoyancy and drag, light and sound, pressure, all caused by changes in density.
Excellent.
All
Any
right.
questions so far? All right, I think this is where Ximena takes over, right?
Yes, it is. Give me
Great.
1 second just so I can make
And
sure.
Ximena, I'm gonna ask you to try to keep things moving relatively quickly because Ronny still needs to teach too, and we don't want to
Yeah.
keep it past. Yeah, thank you.
No, for sure, no problem. I'm sharing my screen.
And just for everybody, the recordings are so you can go through and spend a little more time with it. Ximena and I have been chatting in the background about, we're going to see if we can get a Spanish version of the lecture for our Spanish speaking friends who are in this class. And so we're with Victor's help, and we have another person on our leadership team who also was fluent in Spanish. So I think that's a really good idea. So, but we're going to plow forward with tonight, and hopefully as you're reading the book, it's all going to click. Go ahead.
Okay, so I'm going to go over module 2, which is going to be just the challenges going underwater, your body, mind, and diving. So let me move this up. Okay, so diving adjustments, these are just the different things that happen in the order of dive. So we're talking about diving physics, thermal adjustments, buoyancy adjustments, breathing, heart, lungs, in-gassing, out-gassing, and mobility adjustments. So the diving physics, so it's basically the things that happen to your body that change between being on land and being underwater, how you apply the laws of physics to when you're diving to make sure you're healthy while you're under the water. And the way to do that is to know how those things affect your body and the things that you have to adjust in order to make sure those changes don't affect you negatively. So measuring air pressure, the column of air at sea level. So if you've been on an airplane, as air is less dense. So as you go higher up, your pressure decreases. Well, the opposite happens under the water. So as you go under the water, your pressure increases and your volume decreases, which we'll get into, but basically, sorry, let me find my thing. So, yeah, so basically, as you can see here, your altitude is increasing, your pressure is decreasing, and so that's doing like a different effect on your volume. So, and then 14.7 is the pounds per square inch that this occurs at atmosphere. So the thing that affects this in physics is called Boyle's law, and we think about this with the balloons, which is why this picture is holding a balloon. So Boyle's law is a reference to pressure and volume, and air is compressible. So as pressure increases, volume decreases. And so pressure and volume are inversely related, right? So pressure increase, volume decreases. So water density, so of course, well, many people know, but I don't know if you all know that water weighs a lot, which is why it can crush you. So 1 cubic foot of air is, come on, oh, my thing got stuck, sorry. So water is approximately 800 times denser than air. So air is 0.08 pounds per square inch. Fresh water is 62.4 pounds per square inch, and salt water is 64 pounds per square inch. So when we measure water in PSI, 33 feet of seawater is 14.7. So every 33 feet of seawater, you add on 14.7 pounds per square inch. So 33, 14.7, so you have 14.7 of the air like I talked about initially, so that's at the atmosphere, and then for each 33 feet of seawater you add another 14.7 pounds per square inch. So at 33 feet, this is important for your test, you have the 14.7 from the air, and then you have the 14.7 from the seawater, so you're at 29.4 pounds per square inch of total pressure around you. So we call this atmosphere's absolute, which is the air and then each of the seawater pounds that you're in, right? So at atmosphere, you're at 1 ATA, so that's 14.7, so that's 0 feet. And then again, at every 33 feet, you're adding one more 14.7 PSI. So at 33 feet, you have the one from the top and then the second one from the 33 feet, so it's 2 ATA. This confuses people a lot, so that's why the air is 1, and then each 33 feet is 1 more. So 33 feet of seawater is 2, then another 33 feet, which is 66, is 3, and then another 33, which is 99, is 4 ATA. And remember, at each of those 1, 2, 3, 4, you're adding another 14.7 pounds per square inch. So Boyle's law with the balloons, this is again a great way to remember this. It's like you have a balloon, and so again, as we increase pressure as we're descending, our volume decreases. So we think about this like a full balloon at the surface, and then so at 33 feet, the volume of air is going to compress and be smaller. And so you're going to lose actually the most amount of pressure increase that occurs happens in that first 33 feet. So that's lots of injuries happen between there if you're not doing the right thing. So keep that in mind. So basically, and you'll see this as the balloons get smaller. So you're at a full balloon. When you go down between 0 and 33 feet, you lose half of the size of that balloon. At 66 feet, you lose a third left of the half. And then at 4 ATA or 99 feet, you have 1/4 of that balloon. So a good easy way to kind of, ooh, sorry. A good easy way to remember with the balloons, because those things do come on the test, is you know, at 2 ATA, 33 feet, it's 1/2. So you just think about at 3 ATA, it's 1/3. At 4 ATA, it's 1/4. So that's a good kind of cheaty way to remember that. And of course, Boyle's balloons. So that's pressure and volume, all important for later. So this is really important. It's like the thing that has to do with like the cardinal rule of scuba diving. So if you think about your lungs while you're on scuba, at the surface, you have these 10. And then at the 33 feet of the 2 ATA, your air in your lungs becomes more dense because it's more compressed. So 10 pints on the surface equates to 20 pints of pressure of like air squish in your lungs, right? And then so at 3, it's 30, and at 99 feet or 4 ATA, it's 40. So then if you think about it that way, like the denseness of it, why do you think you need to exhale while you're going back up? If anybody says it real quick, it'll be extra points for you. So basically, oh, sorry, go ahead.
There's air in your lungs. There's more air in your lungs as you're coming back up, so you have to exhale.
Yeah, so the air starts becoming less dense and it starts expanding, and it starts expanding really quickly. And so it's kind of like a balloon. If it starts expanding really quickly, it's gonna pop. So cardinal rule for scuba, always breathe. You want to breathe all the time when you're up, down, all around, but while you're ascending, you never ever hold your breath. You constantly want to have a stream of blowing either out or in. Never ever hold your breath. And like I said, so there you go. You have your air, and obviously your lungs, you know, it's pressure. So it's almost like a bag, but it's like the air inside of them that was really dense is expanding really quickly. And so you need to let that air out somewhere. So thermal adjustments, I think Brett mentioned this a bit. It does, you get hypothermia, and that happens 25 times greater in water than it does on land. And then the areas of greatest heat loss, they're the same in the water as they are on land, you know, like wear a hat, wear a thing. So you have actually all this gear that you can wear while you're scuba diving. It's the same. We have hoodies, you have wetsuits, gloves, and booties, and some of us get colder faster. And so sometimes some of us wear a whole lot more stuff. Not everybody does, but you have to just think about it in context of how much you're moving around in the water. And then also overheating happens. So if you're going to go into somewhere cold, but it's like the spring and people get cold particularly when they go deeper in some springs. But if you're out on land and you have your wetsuit and all your gear on, like you want to get that stuff on and get in the water fairly quickly, because you can also have overheating situations going on. So temperature extremes, anytime, the suggestion is anytime anything below 80 is you want to wear a wetsuit. For some of us, we wear them more, even if it's that, or, you know, it just depends. And some people aren't that way, but 80 is generally the rule of thumb. And then of course this, which we won't be doing this, but for anybody who one day wants to join the Polar Bear Club and go scuba diving in glaciers, I do, but yeah, it's really cold. You need extra classes and extra equipment. So now we're going to talk about buoyancy. This is also really important, not just because it's going to allow you to have a better air consumption rate. So, you know, you'll be able to stay down, you know, for longer, not use your air up, but it's also safe for the places that we dive in. So Archimedes principle, these are things on your test too. I try to think about things that will help remind me of things. So Archimedes is buoyancy. So I always think about it like a wizard. If any of y'all seen like the old Sword in the Stone, it just reminds me of like a wizard floating, and Archimedes sounds kind of wizardy. So it's the buoyancy principle. So an object submerged in water will be buoyed up by the weight of the water it displaces. So we'll kind of go back to what we talked about earlier with freshwater weighing 62.4 pounds per square inch and saltwater weighing 64 pounds. So given that, we're going to talk about we'll get into some examples, and you guys are going to tell me if you'll float, sink, or be neutral. So if we have an object and we weigh it, we're not really going to do this, of course, but if you have an object and you stick it in the water and the water is over there, it displaces and you weigh it, this is going to be salt water. So if salt water weighs 64 pounds, if we put an object, this boulder in there that weighs 64 pounds, is it going to float, sink, or be neutral? Sorry, I just flashed it up on accident. Yeah, so it's 64 pounds is the rock and the salt water weighs 64 pounds. So will it sink, float, or be neutral?
Neutral.
Very good. Okay. So yeah, and this says shape of the object down here, and this is a little bit we'll get more into later, but it also depends a bit on the shape of the object. But in essence, if it's the same weight, then it'll be the same. So we have another one now. So if this rock weighs 58 pounds and it's in 64 pounds of salt water, will it sink, float, or remain neutral?
Float.
Very good. It will float. And so the last one is this boulder weighs 68 pounds and the salt water 64 pounds, sink, float, or remain neutral?
Sink.
Very good. And so this is going to be kind of the things that we think about when they're in the water. So if you're in the water, you're like 64 pounds less if it's just you by yourself without all of your gear or anything on. And this really depends on the size and weight of the diver, and the weight kind of varies too, depending on your muscle mass or your body mass index, like and what that's made up of, your height, your weight, all these different factors, the type and amount of equipment you have. So again, if you weighed 64 pounds and you didn't have anything on, you would remain neutral. But the minute you start putting things on you, it's either going to assist you in floating, like your wetsuit, or it's going to make you sink. So it's affected by the amount of weight you're wearing. And so when you dive, you'll notice that you're going to put on like a little bit of weight depending on all these other factors. And that will change between fresh and salt water, of course, because of the different amounts that fresh water and salt water weigh. And then that will vary with the thickness of your wetsuit. So the thicker the wetsuit, the more floaty you'll be. So if you one day use, say, 4 pounds of weight and you're wearing a 3 millimeter wetsuit, if you change your wetsuit to a 7 millimeter, you're going to have to add more weight, and we'll get more into that while we're in the pool. And then the amount of the air in your buoyancy compensation device. So again, in the pool, you'll figure out more what that means, but you will have to dump and add air and dump air throughout your dives when you're going up, when you're descending or ascending. And then the amount of air in your cylinders. Of course, when your cylinder is full, you're going to be more sinky. And when the less air that's in there, you're going to be more floaty. And then the amount of air in your lungs, which sounds somewhat silly because you're like, well, we're breathing the whole time. And that's going to really, that's what's going to make you be like, okay, I need to be always having these controlled breathing, because if you're breathing rapidly, it's like a balloon that you're boop, 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 you know, filling, like, you know, unfilling, filling, unfilling. It's going to make you kind of be all wobbly. So it's going to, you want to be controlled breathing. And your wetsuit compression at depth. So like everything, the deeper you go, because the pressure is increasing, the volume's decreasing. And so your wetsuit is actually gonna change your buoyancy once you start going down, and we'll talk more about that later. And that's gonna affect what you need to do with your buoyancy compensation device as you let air out and add air into it. And then again, the items you carry on a dive. So if you happen to be doing something where you're doing more tasks in the water and you add more items to, you might have to reduce the amount of weight that you carry based upon that. And then of course the fresh versus salt water, because one weighs more than the other one. And so, like I said, these are things you're gonna adjust throughout your dive. Is the amount of air in your BC. You'll learn how to deflate and inflate your BC. And of course, the amount of air in your cylinder will change too as you use your air. So your buoyancy at depth. So interestingly enough, and people have a hard time understanding this at first because they're like, what? That doesn't make any sense. When you first want to start descending, this makes sense. You have to dump all the air out of your BC. But then actually, once you pass that 33 feet and you get deeper and deeper, you're going to start almost sinking like a rock. And that's because, of course, like we said with Boyle's law, everything gets more dense. So you almost become like a rock as everything gets all squished. And so you'll notice that some people have a hard time like descending, but then the minute they get down there, they're like ping ponging off of the floor. So you'll learn not to do that because that's really bad. But that's when you're going to learn that as you descend, you'll deflate. And then once you pass a certain thing and you start, feeling yourself sinking, you will inflate a little bit. This is also air usage. Again, your breathing rate is going to affect your buoyancy, and then your cylinder, how full or unfilled it is. Your diving comfort, and that sounds a little bit odd, but like the more fidgety and the more you are moving around, it's going to really affect your buoyancy and your stress level, just because physiologically your body does things when you're stressed out, which will cause your buoyancy to change. So you'll learn how to be great divers in this course where you're not going to have a lot of stress levels, and we'll teach you how to deal with stress while you're under the water anyways. So a diver that is negative, so this person is overweighted, and so they are sort of hanging down, like the weight on them is too much, and so you'll see this. So if you feel this on yourself, you will need to like notate that so that in the future you wear a little bit less weight. A diver that's positive, so when you don't have enough weight and you're struggling, you're gonna be like with your feet in the air, and oftentimes people are like trying to kick to get down, which by the way is going to cause your breathing to mess up, and you're going to breathe more rapidly, and you're just going to keep floating. So we just need to work on that stuff, figure it all out initially. Gabrielle's great about this though, so don't worry. When you have the right amount of weight based on all these different things, you're going to be a neutral diver. So one would consider this almost straight. It's straight where you could be straight. You're going to have your legs a little bit up in order to keep your surroundings safe, which will teach you in the pool. But most importantly, when you're neutral, when you have the right amount of weight, it's going to be less resistance, less drag on your body, less work for you. So you're going to have a much more pleasurable dive, and you're going to be able to dive for longer because your air consumption rate will be less. And I think that's the end for me.
Yep.
Awesome. Well, while Ronnie's getting set up, let me just throw a wrench in the plans here. I just counted and realized that there are 22 of you, which is way more than I like to have for a pool session. So I'm actually going to ask if I'm going to throw another date out there and see what the availability is like, if anyone wants to hop over to this date just for the pool session. And I threw it out before, but tell me if anyone is able to move over. I'd like to get like half of you, if possible, to move over to a different date. So I'm going to throw a date out and just tell me your names. I'm looking at my screen, not at you all. So Saturday, the 29th of April, this would get you certified sooner as well. Saturday, the 29th of April.
Sounds good for me. Jake.
I'll do it. Erica.
Yeah, that sounds good for me. James.
Gabrielle.
Sounds good for Laurel too.
Laurel.
Gabrielle, the deans could do April 29th. Thank you.
The deans?
Yes.
Okay, and tell me your first names. I'm sorry.
Carlton and Baker Dean.
Thank you. I just my brain is tired and I can't remember everybody's names. So thank you. Okay, good. Anyone else, please?
Let me ask, tenemos muchas personas para el día de la piscina el 21 de mayo. Entonces no tienen, pero si quieren, vamos a tener otro día en la piscina el 29 de abril. Entonces, si es mejor para ustedes que se van el 29 de abril, que es más temprano, entonces puede ser que están certificados más rápido. Si quieren hacer el 29 y no el 21 de mayo. El 29 de abril o el 21 de mayo, ¿cuál es mejor?
Para ir a la piscina,
Sí, el día de la piscina.
el 21 y el 29. ¿Qué dijo Tim? El 21 creo que está bien.
¿Quieres el 21? Ok,
Depende de lo que dijo Tim.
ok.
Sí. Otra cosa es que lo que estaban explicando acá, tú nos vas a explicar después.
Sí, lo que vamos a hacer es que tenemos otro instructor y otro dive master que uno es totalmente en español. Entonces, vamos a hacer uno de estas lecturas, todas las lecturas, los tres en español, para que ustedes lo pueden ver y saber lo que está pasando, porque si es mucha información y vamos muy rápido, entonces no es que yo puedo como parar y explicar todo porque sería mucho más largo. Entonces vamos a hacer casi como un diferente clase para ustedes. Entonces yo voy a hablar con Gabriel después de eso a ver si entonces no tienes que venir a estos otros porque no sirve que lo tienen que oír en inglés y también en español. Entonces para los futuros lectores vamos a hacerlos separados.
Ok,
pero sí, pero para este lo vamos a hacer como no de nuevo así, pero vamos a mandar toda la información en español y también como nosotros hablando, pero no como así, no en un Zoom, es como va a ser un YouTube.
ok.
They said that they could do either whichever one Tim wants to do, and I guess if it's fine for the 21st, then they'll stay there.
It's not the 21st. I heard you say the 21st, the 29th.
No, I know. They said they can do they are already on for the 21st. So they said either the 21st or the
Okay.
29th is fine. Yeah, yeah.
Tim, can you switch over to the 29th?
Disculpa.
Sí.
Creo que para nosotros mejor está bien el 29. Porque
Okay.
el otro compañero no puede el 21.
Oh, okay. They actually said the 29th is better for them.
Perfect.
Because one of the people can go.
Perfect. Okay, good. All right, good. If anyone else wants to hop over, just let me know. But that makes me feel a lot better that we're going to have smaller group of people. So
Yeah, that sounds good for me. The 29th.
That's April 29th, next Saturday.
Abraham.
April 29th, next Saturday. Who's me, please?
Abraham.
Abraham, thank you. I don't know.
Same time, 8:30
as
to
well.
9:30?
Yeah, 8:30. Yeah. Did someone else say? Did someone else say yes? No? Okay.
I said yes earlier. I don't know if you got me, James.
James, I have you, James.
No. Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Tim also said yes.
Yes, I have Tim. I have Tim. Thank you. Great. Yes, next Saturday. So I'm going to make sure that we secure the pool. For anyone who didn't understand, we are working behind the scenes to try to get a Spanish only lecture going. We have several Spanish speaking people on our leadership team, including another instructor, Victor. And so we're doing our best to try to accommodate everybody. So we'll probably go ahead and split the lectures out if possible. And so that we don't need to make Ximena work and make the other guys have to suffer through all the confusion. So, okay.
Yeah, well, this is Abraham and Anna bilingual, so I can be helpful too.
Oh, perfect. That's great. Thank you.
You're welcome.
That's great, Abraham. And you can help us even when we're diving. That would be really helpful. I want to learn. Quiero aprender español.
Bien. Doing a good job.
Okay. All right, great. So Ronny's gonna take over at this point. So
okay, so we're going to be going over how pressure affects us. So the first thing we're looking at is the ear and sinus anatomy, and that's because that's the first thing that you're going to feel while scuba diving. We say clear early and often. I think we'll go over that later again. So you have your outer ear, middle ear, and inner ear, like Brent went over earlier. And this is an airspace that can be affected from the pressure differences by diving deep. But even within the first couple feet is most important for clearing. Some more ear and sinus anatomy. You also have air pockets in your head, like around your bone structures and stuff like that. That can also cause squeezes and things like that. That's more common with allergies and sickness and not being hydrated, stuff like that. So ear changes under pressure. So this is what your eardrum looks like normally. If it gets blocked up for whatever reason, it can start getting pressure. So it can either have a squeeze where it pushes inward. So that means the pressure on the outside is pushing the eardrum inside. Or on the way back up, you can also have the opposite problem where the airspace inside of your ear is trying to equalize, and because you're sick or something like that, it doesn't equalize properly. So it will cause a reverse block. So that's why we say clear early and often. The solution to both of these is super easy. If you're having pain while trying to go deeper, just go up and clear your ears. Keep clearing until you feel that it's fully cleared. It should never be painful. It's a big thing. People will try to like power through it and stuff like that. Don't power through it. SCUBA should not be painful. So if you're descending and it hurts, stop descending, go back up, clear your ears a little bit, come up a little bit, clear your ears, and then keep descending if possible. And then the same in the reverse. If you're coming up and it hurts, just stop coming up, go down a little bit, clear your ears, and then keep coming up. But clear early and often. Most barotraumas happen within the first 10 feet or 5 feet, I think. So middle ear barotrauma, we have the sign and symptoms: a feeling of clogged or stuffed ears, ear discomfort or pain. Pain increases with descent during dive, fluid buildup, bleeding, ear rupture, leading to vertigo and hearing loss. That's obviously very severe. And you can also get ear infections and stuff like that. So we highly recommend this to pretty much everyone, but especially if you have ear problems or sinus problems or anything like that. So Doc Pro plugs are the only plugs, earplugs made for SCUBA. They're vented. You can see a little dot in the picture that allows you to equalize your ears, allows air to go between it. Gabrielle is actually a distributor, so it's actually cheaper to buy from her than online. So there's the regular. We recommend the leashed because moving around, especially during the pool session, it's going to pop out. So we just recommend the leashed for everyone. Ear Shield is another one that she has available. It's a mineral oil that provides additional ear protection. You basically squirt it in your ear and it will help with ear problems. So especially if you use them both together, it works really, really well. So for this, we're going to be actually practicing this in a little bit. So this is the Valsalva maneuver. This is the main way that most people, especially on like a plane and stuff like that, know how to clear their ears. So you gently, and this is important, gently, you don't smash your nose, don't blow super hard into your nose. It'll make you, dizzy and disoriented. So gently forcing air up the eustachian tubes. You want to do this every 2 to 4 feet on descent. And then, I don't know why I skipped that one. And then what happens on ascent, you don't really have to do it as much. But like I said before, there are cases where you can get a reverse ear block. So if that happens, you just do the same exact thing, just equalize every 2 to 4 feet as it is safe to do so. Okay, so for this one, I'm actually going to have all of you actually practice all of these things with me. So go ahead and get ready, sit up. So these are all the different ear clearing techniques that we have.
And turn your cameras on. We want to see you. Just for this.
So like I said, the Valsalva maneuver is the first one that most people do. So I'll add something onto this after we go through it. So pinch your nose gently and gently blow air through your nose. And you should be able to feel it pop in your ears. It might help to straighten out your throat, and that works underwater too. So if you kind of look up at the ceiling, and again, this works underwater. If you look up, it'll help you with the clearing. Then we have the voluntary tubal opening. Tense your throat and push your jaw forward. So that, some of these work for some people, some of them work for others. So give them all a try and see what works best. It also changes whether you're on land or underwater. So something that works in a plane might not work underwater. So just, give these all a try so you have a reference. Toynbee maneuver, pinch your nose and swallow. These are all basically activating your eustachian tube. Frenzel maneuver, pinch your nose and make the letter K. Lowry, pinch your nose, blow and swallow. So now we're kind of incorporating. And then Edmund's technique, pinch your nose, blow, and push your jaw forward. Okay, so hopefully you all got a good feeling for that. We'll get a lot more experience with it, of course. So breathing adjustments, lung over expansion is obviously something we want to avoid. Do not skip breathe, just have a normal breathing pattern. Obviously we need to have clean gas, especially once you do advanced in nitrox, we start doing gas analysis and things of that nature. Cardinal rule of diving, always breathe, never hold your breath. Pulmonary barotrauma, so we have pneumothorax, mediastinal emphysema, subcutaneous emphysema, and arterial gas embolism. So we have the heart and lungs, so it's going to be under workload while we're scuba diving. It's going to be 1.3 to 1.5 times harder. It is going to be dealing with water pressure, workload, cold water, elevated stress. So normal heart, you're stressed, you must be physically fit to dive, and that's part of the reason we have the entrance and, or more importantly, the exit exam for scuba diving. So middle ears, you have your semicircular canals. That's how you orient yourself in the world. So you can have vertigo from a rupture or anything that gets into your ear, can cause dizziness or result in upset stomach or even vomiting. Avoid seasickness, what you eat, what you smell, moving on the boat, eyes on the horizon. Gas will make some people sick, so depending on that, you might need to sit in certain places to help with that. Yeah, don't look down at the, close your eyes and just hang your head, it'll make it worse. So visual adjustments, like we said before, objects appear at 3/4 of a distance and are 4/3 of a size larger. So light loss at depth, this is due to turbidity, depth, and surface light. Colors change too. So they change according to the colors of the rainbow, so Roy G. Biv. So it starts with red being absorbed first, then orange, yellow, green, blue, indigo, and violet. So what will a red object look like at 50 feet? We will show you. So here you can see nice, bright, beautiful coral, all the different colors, all the different kinds. And then you can see in the background, it just kind of looks washed out and gray. You got some blue, but besides that, not too much to see. And then same thing here, especially with all that bright, vibrant red that you can see in this picture. And as the light fades, it kind of all fades back to that gray color. So ingassing and outgassing, like we talked about before, this has to do with nitrogen being absorbed into your tissues and your oxygen usage. So this is released upon ascent, which is why we have all these safety things like safety stops and ascent rates. Decompression sickness, illness, or the bends, as we talked about before, is the thing that we're trying to prevent. So, we talked about the signs and symptoms of the joint pain and all that kind of stuff and why it's called the bends. Then we have first aid, which is oxygen and recompression in a hyperbaric chamber. This basically recompresses the bubbles inside of your tissues back down in your veins into your blood. That way it can be safely off-gassed in a proper manner. And then the soda bottle is just another example that we like to use often to explain that. So reducing risk, we have ascent rates at less than 30 feet per minute. It's going to be really slow. You're going to want to go faster, especially when you're new to it. So just follow us, go slow, and definitely don't go faster than us. Safety stop, we stop at 15 feet for 3 minutes. It can be like 15 to 20 feet. It's not that big of a deal, but you want to make sure to do the safety stop, and that's just to help with off-gassing under pressure. So recognizing a problem, recognizing decompression sickness, joint pain is the most common symptom, like I mentioned. Tingling, lateral paralysis is in extreme cases. Limited use of legs, vision problems, dizziness to unconsciousness. So joint pain is typically what you're looking for, like 70% of the time, or something like that. First aid treatment. So safe scene, you don't want to become a victim yourself. ABCs, airway, breathing, circulation. Lay flat, call for help, 100% O2. And like I said before, treatment is recompression. So this is a really nice hyperbaric chamber. So I can hold 3, 4, maybe 4 people, maybe even like a nurse or 2. Not all are going to be that nice. Some are only 1 person. Here's another picture of one. And if unsure, call Dan, Divers Alert Network. That's where we get the insurance through. They're super helpful, huge in the industry, a lot of information to help you out, even if you're not insured with them. So dehydration. It's super important, especially we're in Florida, it's super hot. We'll get dehydrated very easily. So you need to worry about the diuretic effect. That's sodas, teas, coffees, alcohol, pretty much anything that's not water. Avoid diuretic drinks, hydrate frequently, and you can have, coffee in the morning, just don't go crazy. And definitely don't go drinking hard the night before. It'll not be good for your sinuses either. So mobility adjustment, lifting gear, walking with fins, drag and current, and streamlining gear. So this is part of the thing that we're talking about with the physical fitness as well. Nitrogen narcosis is another thing. So first aid, ascend to a shallower depth. This is something that typically happens at deep depths, pretty much like really past 100 more so. But onset and relief of symptoms is rapid and directly related to depth. Prevention, avoid deep dives, ascend when symptoms first occur, reduce nitrogen and gas mixture, and we do that through nitrox, which we pair with the advanced class. So if you want to do that, highly recommend it. You get to see a lot more cool stuff, and you get to stay out longer. Hazardous marine animals, sea urchin punctures. This is honestly probably like the most common injury, because those guys get everywhere and they're sometimes hard to see. And if you're not good with your buoyancy, you knock into it. It's not fun. Remove the spines. Don't worry about pieces remaining in skin, especially if they're deep. But however, if their spines are in a joint, you're going to need to go to a doctor to deal with that. You're going to want to clean the wound, soak in hot water, and that's to denature any bacteria or any kind of infection that might occur from the punctures. Very easy to get an infection from sea urchin punctures. So a similar thing is the spongitic dermatitis. They have spicules within their flesh. You don't want to rub your wound. You'll actually rub the silica or carbonate spicules into your skin. It'll feel real bad. Soak wound in household vinegar for 15 minutes. Use adhesive tape to remove the spicules. Use hydrocortisone for inflammation. Allergic reactions can actually happen with all of these and pretty much any marine injury. So allergic reactions including jellyfish. So for jellyfish, though, you want to remove tentacles with tweezers. Do not flush with fresh water. Do not urinate on. That's a myth. Shave the area with shaving cream and a razor to remove dermatitis. Soak in hot water afterwards. Use topical pain relievers or steroids. And then for box jellyfish, use diluted vinegar. Do not rub and be prepared to provide CPR and evacuate. So preparing equipment. We're going to go over all of this at the poolside, so don't worry about how fast I'm going through all of this. This is not super important right now because we'll teach you again we'll teach you again at poolside. So first thing, did not go back far enough. Okay, so this is the O-ring. This is probably one of the most common things that fail on our rigs. It's a piece of rubber and it gets worn down, especially in the Florida heat, and they will start to fray. So we always not only lubricate them, but we also check them for wear and tear, because is the most common thing to go out in your system. Mounting of the BC. Basically, you're going to have the O to the back of your head. So think about the air going into your head. That's the way I've always thought about it. You're kind of stuck. And then tighten securely. We're really going to tighten these guys down hard. It's kind of annoying, but it's you don't want to knock into your knees or into your head. So regulator, what we're showing right here is super important. We're going to go over it a bunch of times and someone's still going to forget, which is frustrating. But this needs to be put back on anytime it is not on a cylinder. If your regulator set is not on a cylinder, that black cap needs to be in place like on the left picture. Because if water gets into here, it will rust and cost Gabrielle a lot of money. This is the other end of the regulator. So this is the second stage of the regulator. This is your mouthpiece, where you breathe from. We also have an octopus, which has a long yellow hose. And this is how we do buddy breathing and stuff like that. The book teaches you a little bit different, but we'll explain that during the session. So where do the hoses go? So you've got your gauge and your power inflator on your left side. And if you look at the picture, that power inflator is that big plastic thing hanging down there on the left shoulder strap. And then you're going to have all your breathing apparatuses on your right side. And then we'll go over orientation of all of that at the pool. Okay. And like I said, don't worry about it too much. We're going to go over it again, connecting the regulator, make sure that the O-ring's good. You want to tighten it, but don't over tighten it because that can damage the O-ring. Hooking up the hose, put the power inflator on. If anyone's worked with a compressor or anything that works with compressed air, It's a pretty common mechanical feature. Clip gauge is also super important, so you're not dragging or damaging coral or anything like that. I actually broke mine recently at Devil's Den, going through all the swim throughs, so I'll have to replace that. Okay, it's not going forward. There we go. So yeah, and then module 2 summary: diving physics, thermal adjustments, buoyancy, breathing, heart and lungs, in-gassing, out-gassing, mobility adjustments, and you will learn a lot more about gear when we are poolside setting it up. So don't worry about how fast I went over this. Like I said, the most important thing one of the important things that we're going to be going over at the pool session is the exit requirements. So you'll see that the top is the entrance requirements to start the class. And at the bottom is really what we're worried about is what we need you to get through is the exit requirements. So 300-yard swim at the surface, 50-foot underwater swim without push. Honestly, that's usually the hardest part for people. And then 15-minute tread or survival flow. So, you know, get a big full of air, breath full of air to hold you at the surface, and you can kind of just float there.
And we do normally start with the underwater swim because it's the hardest thing for most people. And I do allow you to have a push off because my instructor allowed me to have a push off, and I never hold my students to higher standards than me. So you will be allowed a push off. I encourage you to get in a pool and practice that. Practice. Give yourself a nice push off. You can get 10 extra feet with that. It's really mind over body. It's about streamlining your body. Please practice your swimming to make sure that you're good. Okay. Any questions? So again, when we meet for the pool session, you're going to do the underwater swim, then you're going to do the distance swim, and then you're going to do the tread water. Okay.
Joseph, you raised your hand. Go
I
ahead.
see that. Thank you.
Yeah, I was wondering if the swim is with or without fins.
No fins. Unassisted, no fins.
Okay.
I have sorry.
You can wear swim goggles or a mask for the underwater swim.
No, it's just I'm super buoyant because I'm overweight.
Yeah.
And so I just have a problem staying down.
Yeah.
I will work on it.
Well, we have weight belts and that will help.
Okay.
Okay.
So for the pool day, what should we wear? Like just regular swimsuit is fine?
You're going to want to wear a swimsuit as well as a rash guard.
Rash guard.
Right. Or a t-shirt, something, because
Like
you're going to get so
sunburns.
much sun. We're going to be in direct sunlight. People end up getting burnt, you know, so do wear a shirt, you know, if you have a long sleeve shirt or something, just to give you some UV protection, that would be good. So I said rash guard, but honestly, you know, an athletic shirt, something just to kind of cover you is helpful.
But like the first thing we do is these skills. And so, you know, like if you are used to doing laps in a pool, like you don't have to wear the rash guard or any of that stuff. You could do that however you feel comfortable. And then all the rest of the skills, once you complete these swim requirements, then you'd want to put on that other stuff, because this is going to be like the thing that happens the first thing in the morning.
I got you. Thank you.
Any other questions? Okay, well, thank you all for your attention. I know it's late. It's probably past some of your bedtimes. Not mine, but you know, I know how that goes. So thank you for your attention. And I'm looking forward to getting to know all of you more. And those of you, Jorge, you have a question? Pregunta?
Sí, la información, ¿cómo la vas a enviar?
You're muted. I can see you're speaking
muted
Spanish.
before, so I couldn't tell my dog. Sorry. Entonces, después de todas las clases, Gabrielle hace un email y lo que vamos a hacer es ponerlo en español y mandar al grupo que habla español. Y después de eso, todas las cosas de la clase hoy día, vamos a hacer una lectura en YouTube y mandarlo a ustedes para esta clase. Los próximos vamos a tratar de hacer un horario que funciona para todos. Yo y Víctor es el otro profesor, y él es instructor como Gabrielle, pero él habla español y sabe. Es que yo hablo español, pero no las técnicas, cosas de scuba diving, no, yo no hablo así. Entonces, él puede hacer eso mucho más mejor. Entonces, vamos a hacer un horario, si funciona para todos nosotros, hacer los próximos clases. Y si no podemos escoger días que trabajan para todos nosotros, vamos a hacer el mismo cosa como un YouTube. Entonces, lo puedes mirar cuando quieren, ¿ok?
Ok. Ok, gracias.
Sí,
And
y en el
actually, Ximena, I would really like to do a live lecture for them so that they can
Yeah.
participate. Yes, so that they can ask questions and things. So,
yeah, I mentioned that what we were going to try to do was see if we could schedule something that works for them, and Victor
Yeah.
and Jamie and I like see if it does. If it doesn't, then we'll do the other thing, but we'll try to do that and do a recorded lecture. And then did you think that we could get books for them so I could tell them that?
I'm going to reach out. Let me just see.
Okay.
I don't know that there are other languages of the books, but I will certainly right after we get off of here, I will ask. Okay.
Okay.
Any other questions?
No question? No.
All right. Well, thank you all so much. And I will follow up with a very detailed email. If you don't get it by, let's say, tomorrow night, message me and I'll let you know where I stand on it. I'm diving all day Saturday and Sunday, so I really do want to get it to you by tomorrow night. So, okay. All right. Thank you so much to the leadership team, Ronny, Ximena, Brett. Thank you all for being here, and all the students were really excited about getting to work with you.
Thank you.
Take care, everybody.
Thank you.
Thank
Bye.
you.